George R. Martin wants you to know that he's suffering too, but not in the way you think. This comes from Deadline. George R. Martin feels strikes will be, quote, long and bitter, unquote, and says his HBO deal was suspended and gives an update on the House of the Dragon season 2. Notice what's missing here. In his latest blog entry, no, he's not talking about the New York Jets or showing off something else that he bought. He's saying that the Writers Guild of America strike is, quote, the most important of his lifetime. He goes on, no one can be certain where we go from here, but I have a bad feeling that this strike will be long and bitter. It may get as bad as the infamous 1985 strike, though I hope not. George also revealed that his overall deal with HBO was suspended June 1st, but that he still has, quote, plenty to do, adding that, quote, these strikes are not really about name writers like him or producers or showrunners, most of whom are fine. They're striking for the entry-level writers, the story editors, the students hoping to break in, the actor who has 4 lines, and the guy working his first staff job who dreams of creating his show one day, as George did back in the 80s. Now, as far as the second season of The House of the Dragon at HBO, he says, quote, all of the scripts have been finished months before the strike began. No writing has been done since, to the best of his knowledge. Quote, House of the Dragon is shot mostly in London and a little bit in Wales and Spain and various other locations, which is why filming has continued. The actors are members of the British union, Equity, and not SAG-AFTRA. And though Equity strongly supports their American cousins, they have a big rally plan to show their support while they continue to work and get paid. That's my insert. British law forbids them from staging a sympathy strike. If they walk, they have no protection against being fired for breach of contract or even sued, unquote. Martin says that he met with the producers for his stage play. Notice what's missing here. For his stage play, The Iron Throne, revealing that scripts are coming along well. He added, maybe we will even be able to bring the show to the West End by, well, no, better not say, don't want to jinx the project. Yes, George doesn't want to jinx the stage play he's writing. That brings us to The Winds of Winter. Martin says he's been working on it, quote, almost every day. Writing, rewriting, and editing, and writing some more. He says he's making steady progress. Not as fast as he would like. Certainly not as fast as, quote, you would like, but progress nonetheless. He says it keeps him out of trouble, unquote. What is kind of wild about this article are some of the comments. This is from Scout. Says, as far as the last 2 books, he's clearly having difficulty completing his Game of Thrones visions to his satisfaction. This guy says, I believe neither book will be published or completed within George's lifetime. Perhaps his estate will allow the notes to be released. I've said this before. I hope George is with us for a long time. But God forbid something should happen. Brandon Sanderson's going to get this. And yes, that will unfortunately be over somebody's dead body, considering some of the animosity between these two guys. Commenter named Jay Snow said, you know, George prayed hard for a strike. Gives him a great reason not to write. Biggest procrastinator that ever lived. Lazy writer should just be a TikTok fanboy. Anonymous says, write the effing books, George. This is fascinating from Dwarven Excavation Company. It says, George R. R. Martin is already on record saying that should the Grim Reaper Make him an offer he won't be able to refuse, that the HBO series ending would stand as canon, to which this poster shudders. And finally, another anonymous commenter says, quote, "Here's all the reasons I get to continue to make a living while the rest of you," meaning writers, "don't." What do you think about this? I don't normally talk about George R.R. Martin, but sometimes the cringe things that come out and the lack of self-awareness, in my opinion, are simply too tantalizing not to make a video about. I'm Salty Traveling C. What do you think about this? You have a good one.